And Michael Jordan will register a career-low 2 points in his NBA career.
If Michael Jordan's goal in coming back to the NBA was to make the Washington Wizards relevant, then he has succeeded. If his goal was to get them to the playoffs, then MJ has apparently fallen short. As our David Aldridge first reported on Wednesday, Michael Jordan's year is over a day after that career-low 2 points against the LA Lakers. Jordan woke up with a swollen right knee and has decided to shut it down. Shaquille O'Neal, battling injury problems of his own, may have said it best: 39 ain't 29. Michael had arthroscopic surgery on his right knee, spent some time on the injured list, and was not able to return to the form of earlier in the year. Said Michael, quote, "I think it's best at this point to rest the knee and let it heal properly. I tried to get back and play as soon as possible, and early on the knee responded well, but after the swelling this morning, I think it's best to give it a rest." Hear now what his coach has to say. Safe to say, Doug Collins wasn't shocked.
I didn't even want him to play last night. And, you know, Michael, being the competitor that he is, said, you know, I want to give it a whirl or whatever. And I said, okay. And then he played like 12 minutes. And then at halftime, I said, Michael, if we, you know, get back in the game at all in the third quarter, you know, maybe we'll play. But if not, let's just take the rest of the night off. And when Michael doesn't fight you, you know that he's hurt. What he said to me was he's going to shut it down, let the thing heal, get the inflammation out of there, and whether that's 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it might be, and he's doing it with the idea that he wants to play next year.
Statistically, one of MJ's worst seasons, the lowest scoring average since he averaged a shade under 23 in 85-86, only played 18 games that year because of injuries, but by a 39-year-old standards, it's the best ever. 22.9, the most ever by an NBA player aged 39. Jordan, however, averaged just 12.4 points per game since coming off the injured list, had a career-worst 2 points as we are now beating into the ground in the final game of the season. His 5th single-digit scoring game of the year. He had won his entire career coming into this year. Will there be another year?
We have to be careful with Michael Jordan because every time you try to make a prediction, he winds up going the other way. But I don't think a guy goes and announces he's going to have arthroscopic surgery on his other knee just for the fun of it and the pleasure of being under anesthesia. He does that because he's thinking of playing again. And I think Michael will play again next season, not because he wants to end his career on a different note. I don't think he cares about that. I think he just loves to play basketball. He's got a 2-year contract. He sees an opportunity not only to get this team to the playoffs next season, because the Eastern Conference obviously is wide open, but an opportunity to teach these guys, to show these guys how to prepare for games and how to win. And also keep in mind, as an executive, he gets a on-the-floor look at guys he has to evaluate in a year.
Thanks, D.A. Plenty more on MJ in this hour. Christie to steal Hito Turkoglu to Chris Webber. Webber says, you can't have any money, but you can have some of that, dog. Kings up 16, and Webber here, he sort of bounces it off Scott Pollard's head. Maybe it was Chucky Atkins. I don't know. Webber 8 of 8 from the floor. He's giggling because the Kings are up 23. And then this is just filthy. Behind the back, Bobby Jackson. Kings up 23. That's one of Chris's 8 assists. Second quarter, Chucky Atkins going to take it in with the big boys playing. That was unwise. Gerald, oh, that's Christie. He took about 7 or 8 steps, but it's the NBA. You can do a little ballet from time to time. Christie again, this time chucking it from the other side of half court, and all that's levitation, Holmes. Gerald Wallace said 8-2 are pretty loud. Kings up 26. Kings up 23. Christie now over the shoulder to Webber. He's a strong man. Stackhouse fouls him. He was undaunted. 28.7 boards, 8 assists. All 5 Kings starters in double figures. They shot 55% from the floor as a club. Kings win their 6th in a row on the road. That is a franchise record. Big Ben Wallace, as usual, leads the Pistons in boards. 18th consecutive game he's done that. Pistons have now lost 7 in a row to Sacramento. Lakers, they lose and drop 2.5 behind the Kings for the top spot in the Pacific. Some creativity from the lads. Good. That's Alexander there, 22 points. He's money, I guess. First quarter, Wizards up 3. Rip Hamilton, gonna rip the net. He had 20. This is a little bit deceiving because the Bucks won by a whole bunch of points. Glenn Robinson, the big dog, gets loose and finishes with strength and authority. He had a season-high 38. Then Darvin Ham. This guy can dunk like nobody. On an alley-oop, oh my goodness, Darvin Ham. He broke a backboard when he played for Texas Tech back in college, NCAA tournament. They had to stop the game. And then, well, here we stopped the game because Hamilton pushes Ham in the back. Hamilton, flagrant foul. He's ejected. Bucks win by a whole bunch. So the only thing that changes in the Eastern Conference playoff standings 4 through 7 is the games back. Sixers, Hornets, and Bucks, they all win Wednesday. They pick up a half game on the idle Magic. Sixers have got 2 jumps left with the Bucks, 1 for each team at home. Philly won the season series with Charlotte. Bucks and Hornets meet one last time. It's up in Milwaukee on April 14th. Charlotte 2-1 advantage in the series thus far.
One night after career lows in points and minutes. As for his image, tarnished or polished by coming back. With him, the Wizards were in the playoff race with 34 wins. Last season without him, Washington raced to only 19 victories. Jordan reminds all that he signed a 2-year contract to play. Mike Greenberg takes a look back at the first half of that deal.
For Michael Jordan, this third act has been right out of Dickens. The best of times, the worst of times.
I just think we think.
Before it began, he was eager to manage expectations, ours and his own.
I'm 38 years old. I come in with the, with comparisons of what I used to do and what I did for other teams. And, so the scenario is not quite the same.
Quickly, though, he exceeded the imagination. Before we were accustomed to the blue uniforms, he hung 31 on Atlanta. That was game 2. He scored in the 30s 3 more times the next 2 weeks, then exploded for 44 in a home loss to Utah. That was the 6th of 8 straight defeats, the longest such stretch of his career. But on November 28th, while knocking off the defending conference champions, something started to click for the Wizards. Suddenly, it wasn't just Jordan. It was Rip Hamilton one night, Tyronn Lue another. Brendan Haywood started contributing, and suddenly, Jordan was a winner again. The Wizards won 23 of 34 games, going to the All-Star break 26-21, already 7 wins better than a year before. If Jordan was not the high flyer he had been in Chicago, he was still a winner, which always mattered most to him anyway. After the break, it began to fall apart. Jordan turned 39 on February 17th, and his team promptly lost 7 straight games, falling out of playoff position. Then came the injuries, and finally, for the first time in his career, surgery. Upon his return, Jordan was tentative, a step slower, so he did have one big scoring night left in him with 34 in a win over Milwaukee last Friday. His last performance was his least, career lows of 2 points in 12 minutes in a loss to his former coach and his heir apparent. His totals for the season, 60 games, 23 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists in 35 minutes a night. His team, 16 games better than it was at this juncture a year ago, 2.5 away from the final playoff spot in the East. And so again, we are left to wonder if we've seen the last of Michael Jordan. And again, we probably face a long wait for an answer.
No one knows what my ending is going to be. I don't know what my ending is going to be. I'm pretty sure they're sitting back and welcoming the challenge. Guess what? I'm sitting back and welcoming the challenge, too.
And that's the way things have gone tonight for Michael Jordan. Paul Pierce equal to the defensive task.
I just think we think.
Oh, did you see Jordan? Spectacular play. Look at Jordan going and stealing off the glass.
I have a feeling Michael brought his A game. 34, 40, 49. 51 for Michael. Who's the rookie there? A sensational shot by Jordan.
Let me say, this is just a great move. How many times have we seen that? How can you stop that 39-year-old man?
30,000 points for his career.
Jordan, jumper. Got it!
Whoa! Michael Jordan outside. Popeye's shot. That's the bucket. Need the bucket for the win. Jordan the jumper. Got it. They got it at the buzzer. Fake shoots.
I think this guy Michael will. Oh, no, he won't.
I don't know what my ending is going to be.
In red, another sellout here in Big D.
Oh, you love it. 31 sellouts this year. Maximum amount in the history of the franchise, 38, which they accomplished in 1987.
This franchise is in utter success right now. The Clippers with the first possession of the game.
With Nick Van Exel in the lineup, he'll be playing the point guard. They'll run Steve Nash as a 2-guard in their offensive sets.
3-second violation called against the Clippers, and the high-scoring Mavericks averaging nearly 106 a game.
We want to bring this out to you. The Clippers have defeated Dallas 2-1. They've averaged 116 points to Dallas's 114. Now that's a ton.
That is Finley missing the first shot of the game, and the Clippers have managed to win the one previous game here in Dallas. Keep in mind that the 3 games were played before that big trade in mid-February.
You like the way the Clippers go down inside to Elton Brand. This guy has been sensational.
Has he ever? And he needs one double-double, Hubie, to set the franchise record of 54. Van Exel losing the ball to Brand.
When you watch the Clippers, their highlight film, a lot of dunking, running, slashing to the basket. Kwiatkowski is a sensational 3-point shooter, leads the league in percentage. This is game this season. He's finally grown up and matured, put together back-to-back years. This year he's averaging 15 a game and 6 assists, shooting a nice solid percentage.
And he had his season's high of 31 against this Maverick team earlier in the year. 4-0 Clippers after the start. Van Exel going into LaFrentz with the jumper. And Kwiatkowski getting the rebound.
It's interesting to watch Nash as a screener on the baseline, and then they'll run him off doubles or staggered screens.
Brand with a pass to Rooks inside, and the basket. Rooks, who has been with the Dallas Mavericks on 2 previous occasions, and a 6-0 Clipper lead.
Yeah, Sean Rooks has a very swollen left elbow, which will detract from his able to hold people out of the post-up position.
Here is Nowitzki with the turnaround, and Dirk Nowitzki coming into the game as the 8th leading scorer in the league, averaging nearly 24 contests. And a pushing foul against Finley.
When you look at Nowitzki, always remember that there were only 5 guys in this league, 20 points and 10 rebounds, he being one of the 5. You have Shaq, Duncan, Garnett, Weber, Nowitzki.
What company he is in.
Absolutely.
Developing into what appears to be maybe a perennial NBA All-First team. Here's Brand with a great move inside, gets his own rebound, and he scores.
That's what he does best. Elton Brand leads the league in offensive rebounding, 5 per game.
And here is Nash off the mark. Steve Nash coming off a bout of the flu. He was bedridden for 3 days in a row. And what a move by Corey Maggette, going against the grain and causing a full timeout called by Don Nelson. Clippers coming out strong for Alvin Gentry, leading 10-2.
Excellent move by Don Nelson. Disappointed with his team. They're not sharp from the get-go. Not sharp at all.
This is the biggest disappointment in his 13-year career, to see the way this team has reacted. Instead of trying to make a run for the playoffs, they're thinking of contracts, and no basket as Elton Brand interfered with that ball on the rim. So this is a shocking development, really.
Well, the thing that they're throwing out there is the fact that you have a number of these players who think they should get the maximum. The only guy on this franchise who's going to get maximum is Elton Brand. The rest of these guys, including Odom, you're not going to give maximum to, because even though Odom is talented, he has problems away from the court. And once he comes back. Now, the Maggettis, you know, and then the Olowokandis, people of this, these are people that you can play without, and it's not going to disrupt. This team has never been in the playoffs with these players, and the only one who has all-star status with numbers is Elton Brand. I don't get it.
Yeah, neither does Alvin Gentry. It's puzzling with that attitude. And Nowitzki is fouled by Sean Rooks. You saw McGinnis hit the basket at the other end, and the Clippers up by 10.
It's always easy to, when you're young and immature, to make a statement like that, because you just lost to the team that you were 3 games behind. You had to defeat them in back-to-back games to creep within one, meaning Utah. They lose both games by, you know, getting beat handily. And then what happens is, well, the reason why we didn't play well is because of our contracts. No, you didn't play well because you either got out-coached, outplayed on the floor, and now you're looking for a sorry excuse. And that's the thing which is the most disappointing for coaching staff.
Finley getting the rebound. Steve Nash getting only the second field goal of the game for the Dallas Mavericks. Finley picked up by Brand on the switch. Piatkowski guarding the bigger Nowitzki. Finley will take the shot and go over the top. But the thing is that the demand for players in this league come with winning players, not how many points you have.
Well, all of these guys, and so many of them are backup players, are asking for maximum. Management does not have to give you maximum. They'll give you a fair salary. No player's contract was stopped. They are all getting paid for their last 7 games of the season. I just don't get the rationale being used there.
Greg Buckner has just come into the game with the turnaround jumper, and it's a 12-6 score after Dirk Nowitzki made a sensational block at the other end. So a 6-point lead for the Clippers. Crowd yet to get into this game. Sean Rooks from the perimeter, and here is Nash trying to lead the break. Leaves it for Buckner, and filling the lane Finley with a great feed to LaPrince. That was a picture-perfect play, and Nowitzki at the other end gets the pass back, and now the Mavericks seem to be back in stride. Here's Finley driving in, and he gets the basket, and all of a sudden, it's a 2-point Clipper lead.
Great timeout, great substitution by inserting Buckner, an energy guy, into the lineup, and now you're playing Finley up front, and you're playing Buckner and Nash in the backcourt.
And McGinnis on the drive. Remember, this is the same guys we mentioned. 31 earlier in the year. He had 20 in another contest with 15 assists. So Jeff McGinnis has played very well against the Dallas Mavericks. Nowitzki with the fall away, and Nowitzki now with the basket to again bring the Mavs to within 2.
Yeah, that's their pet play. Because once they get you to switch, they have the mismatch, and then Nowitzki has you down on the baseline area.
Rooks missing his second straight shot from the perimeter, and now Dallas looking to at least tie the game.
We always say when we do a Dallas telecast, they're so high energy. They're the #1 scoring team in the league. They're right there in field goal percentage, #1. They very seldom turn it over. They lead the league in fewest turnovers. So the last play was something really out of the ordinary.
I mean, for a team that moves the ball up and down and turn it over 12 times a game is
staggering.
Unheard of.
Yeah, been around a long time. That's a terrific stat there.
You've been around longer than I have. Brand is
averaging 18 points with the Clippers, but he is 12 rebounds and also shooting 52% from the floor. Outstanding.
LaPrince again goes over the top and goes over to the Clippers. 16-12. The Mavericks at 27-10 at home. The real story for them this year, of course, Hubie, is the fact that they have the best visiting record, road record in the league, 24 up and 12 down.
Well, I think that if you're not paying attention to this league, you would never think that. You would never think that an up-and-down type of an offense would be able to win on the road at a consistent basis.
Piatkowski, the best in the league from 3, cannot convert there. Here's another fast break. Finley changing hands. Sensational move by Michael Finley, and the Clippers leading by 2. Dallas still has not tasted the lead in this game. Clippers shooting 50%. Dallas is actually better than 50 with 4:42 remaining in the first. Rooks with a turnaround continues to try to connect from outside.
Yeah, well, he's kind of a surprise that he's playing in this game tonight. The elbow is quite damaged. He has not been able to work out a lot, but because they were disciplining Olowokandi, you know, he was the key guy to match up in the middle here. He's had an excellent year for them.
No question about it. Buckner, who's also had a big year, who plays a lot bigger than his 6'4", is fouled on the offensive rebound. Sean Rooks picking up his second foul, and now we will see Michael Olowokandi, who missed the team function and did not start in the game, and Cheryl Miller chronicled his displeasure with things. Olowokandi, surprisingly, coming off really the best month of his career, the month of March, including a career-high 30 against the Bulls.
Dick, this is Olowokandi's 4th year in the league. Everybody's happy with the explosion that he has made this year. Coming into the season, you're dealing with a guy who was the #1 player in the draft, and after 3 years was averaging 9 points a game and 7 rebounds. So finally, in this past month, the month of March, he's exploded into the player that everybody has been waiting to see.
And there's Maggette with the fake on Buckner going in.
Nice.
Basket counts and a foul as Rafe LaPrence fouls Corey Maggette, who's in his 4th game back in the lineup after missing 16 with a dislocated finger.
Yeah, Maggette is taking the ball really strong with great deal of athleticism, ending with some, high degree of difficulty endings. You like to see it because this young guy, after only 1 year at Duke University, came into the pros, and his career has been spotty. He's up, then he's down, he's up and down. But when this team has their regular front line of Odom, Olowokandi, and Grant, he would be coming off as a backup to Odom at that small forward position.
And McGinnis making the interception. The Dallas Mavericks bringing in Evan Eschmeyer, who was activated after missing 10 games with a sore ankle. He has been hurt this year, and Don Nelson has to make a decision as far as who his true center will be, Eschmeyer or Sean Bradley. And there is Olowokandi with the turnaround in the lane, and the Clippers are up again by 6. Kickball and the turnover. So the Mavericks turning it over 6 times, and another 3-point play opportunity as Maggette scores and has a chance to give the Clippers a 9-point lead.
Is not there for Dallas. The Clippers are beating them 3-on-1, 3-on-2 on every missed shot and steal. They're really running a beautiful layup game here.
Yeah, they have a 9-point edge in the turnover battle as a result of those. Ash picking up that last foul. So after the Mavericks narrowed the gap, it is again 9 points. And the fall away and the air ball fired up by Finley. Piatkowski has Maggette. Maggette now going back to Olowokandi, defended by Evan Eschmeyer. And there is Olowokandi with the one-hander and another neat play in the lane.
See, they have worked with him on footwork, shot selection, and development of hook shots with either hand. And you can see, now we have done them now twice within the last 6 weeks, and this guy has shown us a game with his back to the basket, no doubt about it.
So he may be finally emerging, as you point out.
Right.
Clippers with their biggest lead, 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Dirk Nowitzki, who, according to Don Nelson, has a very great compliment, very bird-like in his style of play. Anytime anyone would use Larry Bird in the same breath, then Don Nelson would know that's pretty hot-hitty stuff. Van Exel and Eschmeyer with a fake gets his own rebound, and Evan Eschmeyer, former 2nd-round draft court pick.
Well, they like Eschmeyer. In camp, he did a real good job. He won the starting position. Unfortunately for him, he's been injured the entire season. It's nice to see him back now because when you're going down the stretch, 9 games remaining, you want to get your guys in tune for playoff time.
And they're going to need a true center.
That's right.
Somewhere along the line in the playoffs. Buckner with the block on Maggette, and a fine play by Greg Buckner leaves it for Nowitzki. This is the jump shot, and into the hands of McGinnis. Well, the Clippers are playing an alert style here in this first quarter and have led all the way. They're up by 9 right now.
Wow, Buckner, come on now. A Clemson guy playing a Duke guy, Maggette. And you know that they did face off.
How did the ACC do in the NCAA final, by the way? I didn't get that result.
The guys with the turtle hat.
Oh, the turtle.
Boy, our statistician has his on there right now, but please, no camera. No face for Marty Aaron out there.
Well, you gave him a lot of ink just then. We'll have to talk about that. 1 minute remaining here in the first quarter. The lead is 9. And there is a move inside by McGinnis, and it didn't go. McGinnis and Brand each with 6, but Maggette leads the Clippers with 8. 45 seconds to go in the quarter, 15 on the shot clock. Another three is missed by Finley, but Buckner follows. Great pass. 5 points and a lot of other hustle points by Buckner here in the first quarter.
Great pass by Nick Van Exel. Could definitely have taken that shot, but by passing off, you get the layup. You have an injury here right here.
Yeah, 20-second timeout.
Yeah, this is McGinnis. Yeah, Jeff McGinnis here. You could see he was hurting. Now, whether it is in the upper body, in some area, you really can't tell. But he doubled over as soon as he dribbled the basketball to half court.
So he's been pretty durable, but he's now out right now. And Boykins with a feed into Maggette with an unaccustomed 19 points right now.
He's a clear out.
And Nowitzki driving against Brand, knocked out of bounds. 5.7 on the clock.
5.7 seconds on the game clock. 5.7 seconds.
Eschmeyer, Buckner, Griffin, Nowitzki
is a clear out.
Along with Van Exel. And time running out. Nowitzki, tough shot. Almost like a shot put for Dirk Nowitzki as he gets it off at the buzzer to end the first quarter with the Clippers leading 27-21.
Yeah, Nowitzki better half-court club to match up with Brand.
Olowokandi now with 8 points as Jeff McGinnis has returned to the lineup for the Clippers.
Yeah, Olowokandi is definitely stepping up now. You can see the shot selection. He can shoot it with either hand, and he's over 7 feet, so he's a handful once he comes off that dribble into the paint.
Michael Finley and now Van Exel posting up against McGinnis. And Van Exel, after a slow start, and we've seen him do that before, go cold and then all of a sudden sizzle the rest of the way.
Well, 1 week ago, we had him in Milwaukee, missed his first 7 shots. Don Nelson put him in when they were 19 down. He gets 19 points. They catch him and win in overtime. How about this?
Olowokandi doing it all. So maybe the malcontent coming out.
Well, you know what?
Harder.
They could have used that last night. He was 2 for 15 in Utah last night. They could have, you know, helped a few of these shots that he's putting in this evening.
In the game they needed against the team in front of them.
They needed that big shot.
Van Exel to Finley, and goaltending is called, and Finley will get credit for his 6th point of the game. And Finley will get credit for his 6th point of the game.
Anytime that you are fronted on the line, if you just move up the line a little bit, that opens up the passing angle. Now you're going to see it right. All right. There, they said that it was touched by the Los Angeles Clipper as the ball was coming off the rim.
Olowokandi was the man who touched the ball, and Elton Brand is fouled at the other end. Interesting that the Mavericks have played Nash only 9 minutes so far in the game, so he obviously not feeling that well. Comes back into the game. 3 days. I talked to him during the warm-ups, and Steve Nash says, you know, I still have to get my legs back. One of the better young players in the league.
Well, you can see first in offensive rebounds, second to Tim Duncan in double-doubles. The 52% field goal percentage is incredible. And then when you say that he averages 18 points a game, how about the fact he only attempts 13 shots, but because he shoots 52%, he maximizes his attempts.
Clippers lead the Mavericks by 5. Nash is in and will fire a 3 and a knockdown, and the Clippers with the ball. So Sean Bradley with Nash, Griffin, Nahara, and Finley for the Mavericks, and Sean Bradley called for the personal foul. So the center audition continues for Don Nelson. Eschmeyer was early in, and now Bradley.
Well, Don Nelson is upset with Danny Crawford, mainly because Dallas tries to front the post-up, and they also try to front the post-up guy. So they're constantly fighting on the denial of the pass. Don Nelson wants the incidental contact. Tonight, Danny Crawford is saying, hey, any bumping, any grabbing down inside on the post by the defense, it's an automatic foul. Well, Don Nelson is trying to argue that point, and he's been up a number of times.
And as long as they're consistent with it,
oh yeah, absolutely,
that's all you want.
That's right. You have to adjust.
Olowokandi with 1 free throw. He's a 63% shooter from the line, but he has 11 points to lead the Clippers, who are in front by 6. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Nash has scored only 2 points. Finley with the short jumper, and it goes. So Finley has 8, and Nowitzki has 10 with the other triumvirate.
Yeah, they just brought Finley off of the staggered screen.
Olowokandi, and that'll be an offensive foul.
Right now. If I'm Don Nelson, I'd have a technical right now.
It is Bob Rathman and the Stinger, Mike Glenn, with the call.
Holding on to the 8th spot in the East by a scant half game. Trying to pull one out of the fire in Atlanta and sweep the season series from the Hawks.
Well, if you're Isaiah Thomas, you got to be thinking you've got the best in the business at this last second type of heroics in Reggie Miller, and you've got to get the ball to him. Ira Newble matched up against him, the Hawks' best defensive player.
We'd like to welcome those of you watching on TNT. Here's Reggie Miller going to work against Ira Newble. 6 to go. 5 seconds left. Reggie gets it. Nazi guards him. The shot is short. The rebound to Newble. And the ball game, I believe, is over. The clock hits 0. And the Atlanta Hawks have held off the Indiana Pacers. And the Toronto Raptors are now tied with Indiana for the 8th spot in the East. Well, Mike Glenn.
All right, so you see what happened to the Atlanta Hawks holding off the Indiana Pacers 95-94. Pacers had one last chance, but the
LaFrentz playing with 3 personal fouls, the only player on either team for that. And LaFrentz lays it in.
Great move by Nash. Nash created the entire play. He's quicker than you think, and he handles so well with either hand.
So the Clippers, who are 1 game under 500, they haven't played 500 ball since the 91-92 season. Here's Piatkowski leading the league from 3, and there it is. That's how they say it is a 2-point basket inside the line.
Well, he's number 1 in the league in threes. He shoots the 3 at 48%. He'll attempt at least 3 a game. Tonight he's having difficulty getting open looks.
And Nash and Buckner crisscross and the turnover. And so that is the 8th turnover by the Mavericks, and they average 12 a game.
Big thing right now, I like what Cheryl came out and talked with Gentry about, and that is more movement. Get back to the movement and get it going like you had it in the first quarter where everyone was involved.
And it looked like they want to get Piatkowski going from the field. He misses the last shot after making the first. Here is Nash pulling up, and Steve Nash now 4 of 6 from the field and 9 in the game.
Well, he always shoots such a high percentage. Anytime that you're rated, you know, right up there in 3-point shooting, field goal percentage, and foul line, one of the premier shooters that we have in the league.
Here's Elton Brand. And firing from outside and hitting the 3 is Jeff McInnes, and that is the first 3-point basket for either side tonight. And it ties the game at 48, and there's Olowokandi picking up the loose ball. So the Clippers come out impressively here in the 3rd.
Yeah, I like that. That was a non-call mainly because the defensive player was below the dotted line. There was a little bump. You did not want to call a charge in that situation.
McInnes nearly losing the ball.
Bad play by McInnes.
And is called for the offensive foul.
Just keep an eye on McInnes here. This is totally uncalled for. Watch what happens here. Now watch what he does. There's a forearm in the chest of Buckner and just knocked him right back. Good call by the referees, right on top of that play.
McInnes, who has been an emotional powder keg. And there is nearly, and it is a turnover. So the Mavericks not very smooth in their half-court offense.
Well, they're fronting the post-up people. And by that, you have to get foul line extended and below the foul line to create a better angle, Dick. But they insist on trying to feed the post from the top.
Brand with a tough shot attempt. Olowokandi with the offensive rebound, fouled. So Olowokandi playing like a man possessed tonight. And he'll go to the line. And again, this crowd did not start the game into it very much, then got in as the Mavericks started to click. Quiet here as they start the 3rd, and Brand fouling Nowitzki. That'll be Brand's first.
Yeah, Brand was upset. He thought that he had a good block. And when you're talking about blocks, Brand averages at least 2 per
was first pick by Chicago and traded to the Clippers on draft day for Tyson Chandler. Nowitzki makes both free throws. the Mavericks going to the line only 5 times in this game.
Right now they're in the zone. They're in a 2-3 zone, Dallas. It's the first time that they've been in it.
Here's Olowokandi, double team with Buckner and LaFrentz. 7 on the shot clock. Skip pass to Piatkowski, and the ball knocked out of bounds. The shot clock shows 6. If it was a kick ball, it would go to 14.
Yeah, Dallas loves the flat 2-3 zone. Sometimes they will go 3-2.
And the baseline jumper by Brand. And here comes Dallas. Mavericks looking to increase their lead, and Nowitzki gives it to him. It is 52-49. Nowitzki now with 14 points. He has scored 4 here in the third.
Well, anytime Dallas is in transition, they bother you because they do not run to the basket. They run to spot-ups, sometimes behind the 3-point line. Once again, they're in the 2-3 here right now. Matching up. Here it is. There's your trap.
And Olowokandi loses it. 3-on-2 break. Nash for Finley, and he's got it. And the Mavericks have opened up their biggest lead, 5 points, with nearly 4 minutes elapsed.
Now Finley just made another acrobatic run in overtime. They get a win and a loss.
And they remain in it as Olowokandi misses from the perimeter. The offensive rebound. Brand fights his way in for the basket. Elton Brand stops the siege, and the Maverick lead is back down to 3.
Yeah, Elton Brand right now is sitting on 4 offensive rebounds. He averages 5 a game, #1 in the league.
Greg Buckner using a screen from LaFrentz, spinning his way in and getting the basket. Greg Buckner now with 9 off the bench for the Mavericks.
You look at that group out there right now for Dallas. Every guy can handle the ball, and they're very dangerous off the dribble.
Here's Brand. They front Brand.
Yeah, that was nice.
McGinnis for 3. Rebound Nowitzki. Down court is Finley. And now Finley guarded by McGinnis, and the offensive foul. The bump called against Michael Finley.
Well, I would say right now Finley's upset because he knows that there was hardly a contact. This is a great move by McGinnis. Now just watch. He yells out as Finley comes back. Now just watch it. See, he jumps back, and he got the call. That's why Finley was upset.
5 minutes have gone by. Maggette faking the shot. Piatkowski. Nash won't let him hit from 3. Maggette for 2. And swooping in for yet another offensive rebound is Brand. Tipped in by Piatkowski with a great move.
Right now, Dallas alternating between the zone and also man-to-man. And it comes out when they come down the floor. Nash makes the call.
LaFrentz missing the 3, and the Clippers coming back, trailing by 3 points right now. Here is Maggette with a circus move. Corey Maggette with a great drive has 11 points, the second Clipper to go into double figures behind Olowokandi.
Maggette, that's putting on the afterburners. That's the 4th time in the open floor that he's created something.
Yes, he has. And, of course, last time we saw the Clippers, he was on the injured list.
Correct.
And this is his 4th game back from the dislocated finger. Brand with the block, but the possession still for Dallas. Here's Nowitzki firing a 3 and hitting. Dirk Nowitzki with his first 3 has 17 in the game.
Yeah, you have to love it. Now Nash deliberately drove to the baseline to take the trap, opening up Nowitzki as he stepped back, threw it back. Now that was from a deep spot on this one.
And Olowokandi with the offensive rebound off of Maggette's miss. Piatkowski from 3, and the rebound by Nowitzki. He just hit Dallas's first 3-point basket, and he's fouled by Olowokandi on a drive to the hoop. Nowitzki,
beautiful,
unmolested, 11 points here in the third quarter, 21 in the game.
Well, Olowokandi is walking back down the floor with a little bit of an attitude right now. Nowitzki has put him to sleep twice in the outside lane. One, he blew by him, and he got fouled. And on this one, he suckers him with a staggered dribble and then just blows to the basket for an uncontested layup. Keep an eye on this. To the left of the screen is Olowokandi. See, look at this. He just explodes right by him without key guys. You know, we talked about the Odom and the Julian and also Maggette missing 19 games. You know, that's a pretty good record there.
It's a great record, and this is a team for the future.
Right.
McGinnis hitting a 3, and if they had a veteran leader, maybe a lot of the things that happened last night would not have occurred.
I agree with you 100%. See, it's easy to isolate a guy who wants to make excuses anytime a team underachieves, and that's what you have. So then they grasp the reasons why they are underachieving when they're head-to-head with a playoff team like Utah, and you get 0-2. Well, the main thing right now, though, is to grow up and hope that they can get a veteran guy to join this talented group next year.
And someday Elton Brand will be a veteran guy to lead the team, but not yet. He gets the basket, cutting the lead to 3.
I like the way they're playing tonight. They're hanging around. They're running hard. They're going to the rim. They're banging the ball. Their point production in the last 18 games from 105 a game to 108 a game. So you can see it's helped them there. But we all say that if they're going to get it done, their overall rebounding must get better at playoff time.
Mavericks by 4 with 3 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the third quarter. Here is McGinnis with a feed to McGetty and the foul underneath.
Well, McGetty has that high wire stuff, Dick. That athleticism. This is a great look, a nice pass. Now look to the baseline right here. Beautiful move by McGetty. He almost completes it. Either of the teams here this evening has fouled out more than 3.
That's an eye-opener. LaFrentz comes back and hits the 3. So LaFrentz and Nowitzki have the only 2 3-point baskets for the Mavericks. Up by 5, 3:20 to go, third quarter. And there's Olowokandi facing LaFrentz with 4 fouls. And the one-hander, and Olowokandi now with 16 in the game to lead the Clips.
Oh, that's a very difficult shot to block. It's a jump hook, and he's doing it from behind his ear. So he's getting maximum arc on it. Beautiful shot.
Did I say Clips? What am I writing, a headline for a newspaper? For a tabloid? Clips win. Clips whip Mavs. Mavs whip Clips. There is Miles on the bench as LaFrentz misses the first free throw. One of the improvements since that deal, Rafe LaFrentz from the free throw line going from 69% to 77%. That's quite a jump, but makes one here.
A lot of times when you're around guys who shoot it well, Nowitzki, Nash, and Finley all shoot it over 84%. And when you're around guys that shoot it well, sometimes they help you, even if the coaching staff might not, just by shooting with them.
Off Piatkowski's miss, the Mavericks with a 4-point lead with 2.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Nowitzki keeps holding on to that burster sack problem on that right elbow. Nash in the lane now with 11 points, and the lead is 6, but it looks like Nowitzki is bothered on that elbow.
Well, they used LaFrentz on that screen, and what happened, it was kind of beautiful. All game long, the Clippers have been switching, and Dallas has picked up the mismatch. Well, that time, both guys stayed with the screener, and Nash just dribbled right into the middle of the floor and was wide open. Now, come on, let's face it, someone has to guard Nash here when he's dribbling into the middle, or the guy's going to have like about 25 in a hurry.
I would think so. Griffin with the foul. Here's Richardson. Griffin on him. That's one of the good matchups we've watched tonight from the bench. And Olowokandi out to McGinnis. Open for the team. Good look. And it drops for him. A 3-pointer for McGinnis. His third of the game. He has 15 points. And the Mavericks leading by 3 with 1:45 to go in the third quarter. So the Clippers refuse to go away.
Great.
Buckner from Nash. What a great diagonal pass underneath.
Yeah, see, Buckner and Griffin run so well without the ball. So as Nash is dribbling and gets into the painted area or anywhere, if you're moving and you're open, Nash will find you.
And Olowokandi has found LaFrentz with his 5th personal foul.
He would like to give you that play. Keep an eye right now as Nash comes into the middle of the floor and continues. You will see this kind of movement, and the pass will be right on the money. Now just watch it now. Right now, see, Buckner sees that they're going to help him. He's moving without the ball. Just a great look by a player who is totally unselfish. Steve Nash.
And Nash will go out of the game. Mavericks a 10-point lead, 78-68, going into the final 12 minutes of regulation.
And the fully loaded Ranger for only $19.99 at budget.com.
How can we let everyone know about that?
We'll send out a chain letter.
$19.99. Send this letter to 7 friends or it's bad luck.
Let's forget the chain letter.
Yeah. The Ranger for only $19.99.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Nobody's got a good deal.
Miles. And the strategy worked. 1 out of 2.
He'll take that every time.
Nick Van Exel, who has 4 points tonight. Well, he has been on a tear. He has gotten into the groove since the trade the last several games. Nahara behind to Nowitzki, guarded by Brand with 8 on the shot clock. Here's Brand getting a piece of it, and the rebound taken down by Richardson. Here's McGinnis. Feeds Piatkowski. And he misses a 3 with a good look, but Richardson hustles in the corner.
See, with Piatkowski in there, along with Richardson, you have your 2 high percentage three-point shooters. Oh, good block.
And underneath, Brand follows, and he's fouled. So a good block, and then Brand is alert underneath the basket. Oh, he comes from a great winning program at college.
Yes.
And that's going to rub off on this team. Brand with the free throws, and the Mavericks 78, the Clippers 73, early here in the 4th quarter.
They just continue to wear you out with this pick and spot up, pick and roll, pick and spot up from the corners.
Here's Van Exel, and crashing the board, Nahara. And here come the Clippers.
You have to have answers for it, Dick. We've seen it now 3 times in 10 days, and they just wear you out. And if you can't figure out what you're going to do, they're going to punish you, because they're going to continue to run it for 4 quarters.
And run it with numbers.
Yes, indeed.
They're a very deep team. 2 minutes have gone by. Here is Nowitzki, guarded by Richardson. Great feed to Griffin. Basket counts and a foul. So Dirk Nowitzki. And you want to talk about bird-like style. Dirk Nowitzki showed it there, and the foul is against Richards. Liked him from the Boston Celtics. Played 2 years, but a couple of years ago really played well, coming out of nowhere as an undrafted player. And there is McGinnis with the jumper. He has 17 now. So again, the L.A. Clippers really, at this point, have not wilted. They're playing the second game of back-to-back after losing in Utah last year.
Jeff McGinnis has put together 2 outstandingly back-to-back, last year and this year. Solid.
Van Exel, you know, when he starts to go.
Yeah, watch out.
Watch out. 84-75, a 9-point lead. Here is Brand, defended by Nahara. Double team. Here is Richardson coming in. Great move by Richardson. Spinning in for his second field goal.
That was a pretty pass by Elton Brand, because as soon as he was doubled, he was looking to the opposite side of the floor.
Clippers leading the season series 2-1. All games played before. And Nowitzki hitting the floor, getting the 3. No call. He has 24 in the game.
The guy's over 7 foot. He handles the ball like any guard in the league. He has such a beautiful touch, and it's a quick catch. He doesn't take time. Once that ball hits his hand, he's up and at it.
Brand to Richardson. Here is Van Exel. Stop and go. Van Exel off the glass, followed by Griffin. And it is 89-77, so the 12-point lead. Dallas extends it now. Nearly 4 minutes gone by, and the 7.5 to go. 12-point lead, and Richardson unable to convert the layup.
He's been battling Griffin and now Buckner down inside on these post-ups. Quentin Richardson, an outstanding post-up player at the college level.
Here's Finley, and he misses the 3, but Nowitzki jumps out for the rebound. Van Exel driving in, lays it in, getting past McGinnis. McGinnis trying to knock the ball away and got burned.
No coverage there. No team coverage there. None of the big fellas came into the lane to stop the dribble.
McGinnis fires up a wild shot. And a 14-point lead, and the Mavericks starting to run away with it. And there's Van Exel with his second 3 of the game, 96-79. And the Dallas Mavericks leading 96-79. And the turnover will give the ball back to Dallas. Van Exel, as he has done since the trade, exploding 8 of his 12 points here in this fourth quarter.
Well, they're such a quick team. They're exciting because they make the 8 average three-point shots every night, and you can see they're warming up right now. The fans are into the game. They're totally unselfish. They're a joy to watch.
And no basket. They're going to wave off the basket and the foul before the shot. And Griffin.
Yeah, he's upset.
And Dennis Johnson, the assistant coach, who has come off the bench as well.
But you could see, Dick, on the replay, that it definitely was continuation. No doubt about it. They made the right decision.
And it was a circus play, and a technical foul has been tacked onto that. And Nowitzki on the free throw line hitting. And here you are with 6:27 to go in the fourth quarter. Gentry picking up the technical foul. And the Dallas Mavericks 1 point away from yet one more 100-point game.
Yeah, it's fascinating. During the course of the year, this team has hit over 110 points 28 times. That is a magical number.
Well, they still have 99, but I have a hunch they'll get to the century mark with 6:22 to go. Boykin's into the game and a timeout call because 2 others have 9 points. So there are multiple offensive weapons on this Dallas team, and they're going to be a handful in the playoffs for sure. And there's Van Exel with the turnaround, and Maggette gets it out to Darius Miles. Behind to Boykin, and one of the Mavericks got a piece of it. Coming back 3-on-2, Van Exel fumbled it. Finley fires it, and Finley hits it. 16 for Finley tonight.
When you're hot, no matter what you do on your roll, the ball goes in the basket. And right now, Dallas is on fire.
101-82, leading the NBA, averaging nearly 106 points a game.
If I'm teaching defense at my station, I'm defensing the post. Eschmeyer is doing exactly what you teach your big men to do. Forearm on the player, deny with the lead hand, and he picks up the foul. But you can see that the referees tonight are trying to be consistent about proving a point that you're not going to push the post man with that forearm.
Olowokandi with the one-hander. Miles crashing the offensive board.
They grabbed the rim.
And he grabbed the rim. So it'll be a Mavericks ball. By the way, Nick Van Exel leaving the game, having scored 12 points, replaced by Avery Johnson. In for the first time, there is Van Exel, who has been terrific as of late. On the road trip, averaged nearly 17 points a game, 50 points, 50 field goal percentage. So Avery Johnson is in there now. Finley. So the Mavericks have outscored the Clippers 59-39 in the second half. And winning going away tonight.
Getting Avery Johnson in the trade to say, hey, well, they have 3 point guards now, 3 small players. But the way that Dallas plays, in case there's an injury to either Nash or Van Exel, you have a terrific backup in Avery Johnson.
What a great insurance policy.
Absolutely.
Around, and they look for better things this time around as they move a step closer to the second slot in the West and winning the Midwest Division as San Antonio wins as well tonight. And the final score, the Mavericks 115 and the Clippers 90.